Hello, this is Ujjwal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a project that looks very complicated but is actually really easy to do. So I'm starting with a raw MDF chest of drawers. It's a small drawer and I have been using it as it is on my table to store nicks and knacks for a long time, and decided to give it a little upgrade. So I'm starting with a coat of gold gesso. This is from TCW, the Crafters Workshop, and it's really light and has this great consistency that makes it really easy to apply. I'm not using any water to dilute it or anything. I'm just applying it straight out of the jar, and it also has a really smooth coverage, good coverage I should say, because a little of it goes a long way. So I'm going to cover the entire chest of drawers inside out with this gold gesso, and this will be my primer as well as the first coat of paint. Next, I'm using the distressed lace stencil and some white pearl modeling paste, and I will apply it on the drawers as well as on the side of the unit using an old card. You could use a palette knife or anything else that you might have at hand, and I'm going to make sure I'm being generous with this modeling paste here because I want that texture to show through, to stand out on the drawers, because that's the only thing that I'm going for on this particular project. So the texture paste that I'm applying is really thick, and then I just use the card to scrape off the edges if for anything extra that went out of the line. And I'm going to do this on the sides of the whole drawer unit as well. Now this white pearl modeling paste has a very subtle shine to it, and it really looks nice in real life. You cannot see that shine on the screen or in the video as of now, but it really does have that subtle shine that shines through in the end project. So here I'm going again on the sides, and yes, being very generous with the modeling paste, applying a very thick coat. And I'm using a 6x6 stencil because I thought the 12x12 stencil, the design was too big and the details weren't enough to showcase on this particular small drawer set. So I use this, but if you're doing a bigger project, a bigger box or something, you could use a 12x12 stencil and you won't have to repeat the stenciling. You can do it in one go. If you have a bigger stencil, I did mess up a little bit because my stencil was overlapping, but that is it. And then I left it to air dry, and once it was all completely dry, my next step was to use some black gesso. Now you'll see some shadows in the video because I filmed this part at night once the kids are asleep, so forgive me for the shadows and poor lighting here, but I did want to show you the process. So once I covered the entire thing with gesso, black gesso, I took a wipe and then I wiped down, pressing the gesso into the surface. And what this did was the gesso went around the raised part, so it sinked into the base, and my top part was clear, so it looks like there are shadows and that empty kind of stain effect. And I did this on all of the stenciled area as well as non-stenciled area, so it is like suddenly kind of adding a stain to it or a wax finish to it, but I'm doing it with gesso. So once you completely cover the surface and then when you wipe the area, your raised stenciled part would shine through and the black gesso would go down into the around the raised area. So this will really pop up that stencil design that you made earlier. And as you can see, now I'm diluting that black gesso and just adding it to the non-stenciled plain area as well and piping it with the cloth. And again, it's similar to adding a stain or a wax finish to the project, but it's just that I'm doing it with gesso. So I went on and I covered the entire unit, the drawers, the inside of the drawers, the back part, everything. I stained it in the similar way with black gesso, and that is it. That's all I did, and I had this beautiful kind of antique oxidized gold effect to this. Now you can embellish it further. You can add some draw knobs or some pulls like these are from Timol's, I think, and you can add some maybe some legs to the metallic legs to the drawer and embellish it as you like. I just left it as it is, and I just loved the effect that I was able to achieve with these 3 simple steps, and I hope you liked it too. So if you did, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. It is a big motivator for me to keep creating the content and technique videos and share my ideas with you. So thank you for watching today, and have a great day.